Good evening. It's Tuesday, November 18th at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call the Town of Grand Chute Sanitary Commission meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Healing.
Here.
Mantis.
Here.
Blair.
Here.
Gehring.
Here.
English.
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get approval of the agenda and the order of the day?
Gehring moves approval of the agenda in order of the day.
Hailing seconds.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public input tonight?
There's none.
Can I get approval of the consent agenda?
Gehring moves approval of the minutes from the November 4th, 2025 meeting and also the monthly reports for October. Blair seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Can I get approval of the financial reports?
Hailing moves approval of financial reports, items 1 and 2.
Mantis seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're on to new business. Number 1 is offers to purchase between the town and the REITs Revocable Living Trust, Reinvest Incorporated, Kingston Properties LLC, Justro Properties LLC, and JD Investment Group LLC to facilitate construction of Ridgeview Stormwater Detention Pond and related facilities.
All right, thank you, Chair. So this is, as you described, between agreements between 5 different property owners for the purpose of constructing a future stormwater pond in the project area vicinity for the Ridgeview Highlands project. In total, between the 5 properties, we're looking at just over $600,000 in fiscal impact to the stormwater utility.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
Hailing moves approval.
Blair seconds.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. New business number 2, purchase of Camstrip residential and commercial sized water meters for 2026 meter replacement project from DSG for $1,248,750.
Thank you, Chair. In January of 2026, we will move into year 2 of our 3-year project to replace all the census meters with Camstrip meters. We have 3,266 residential meters that are scheduled to be replaced this next year. We added to that order to account for all the failing meters that we're seeing from census, so we have enough to try to get us through the year. We will also be replacing various large size meters, inches and 1.5 inch and 2-inch meters will also be replaced. And we did account for development for our small residential meters and for the larger meters as well in this purchase. We are bringing this to you now because we want to make sure that we get delivery at the first of the year so we can start scheduling appointments with our residents and businesses to replace those meters that are due.
Thank you for that report. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
Hailing moves approval to purchase the Camstrip residential and commercial sized meters in the amount of $1,248,750.
Mantis seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, South Nicolay Road and South Van Dyke roadway projects, water main replacement. Director Jolma?
All right, thank you, Chair. So if you remember, about a month ago in the October meeting, the Nicolay and Van Dyke projects were brought before the board to accelerate the projects for 2026 construction. Since that time, we started the initial design planning for these projects, and during field investigations, our staff found that the existing water main along the roadway segments in our town records, they were previously identified as being PVC, but we discovered that they are in fact ductile iron pipe installed in the mid-1980s. And so based on this, what we've been doing with other projects within the town, when we come across a roadway that has ductile iron, it's generally some of our worst performing, water main pipes in the area, especially from this time frame. So what we've been doing is replacing that with the roadway so we can avoid any future maintenance issues with breaks and things of that nature once the road's recently been redone. So general best practice here is to ensure long-term reliability is that we would go ahead and replace the water main here as well if we do the roadway. Just a high-level cost estimate that we did for the water main. It is a 12-inch main, so it's one of our bigger mains. So we're looking at likely $750,000 or more for water charge to this project. In speaking with McMahon, they did verify with us that we should still be able to keep the timeline for construction in 2026 while including this work and doing the extra design and permitting that's required to do this replacement. And I can answer any additional questions if you have any.
Any questions? What are the wishes?
Haley moves approval to proceed with this water main replacement.
Lair seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Lair seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Moving on to the Town of Grand Chute's Town Board meeting on Tuesday, November 18th. Can I get approval of the agenda and order of the day?
Gearing moves approval of the agenda and order of the day.
Lair seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public input?
There's none.
Can I get approval of the consent agenda?
Haley moves approval of consent agenda items 1 through 5.
Vantas seconds.
I have just one comment. I am really pleased with the way the Park and Rec Department's hoot in the Chute turned out, and congratulations. Thank you so much for that activity. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. How about approval of the financial reports?
Haley moves approval of financial reports items 1 and 2.
Vantas seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to new business. Number 1, Plan Commission recommendations. A is preliminary plat PP 022025 requested by the Greater Fox Cities Habitat for Humanity, 3822 North Gillett Street, for the preliminary plat of Habitat's Gillett Street plat. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Gearing moves approval of 02-2025.
Vantas seconds.
Any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Item B, preliminary plat PP 032025 requested by the Town of Grand Chute on behalf of Tycor Built LLC for the preliminary plat of Foxport subdivision located on 8.88 acres of land on the northwest corner of West Grand Chute Boulevard and North White Hawk Drive. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Vantas moves forward recommending preliminary plat PP 03-2025.
Gearing seconds.
Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. On to new business number 2, offers to purchase between the town and REITs Revocable Living Trust Reinvest Incorporated, Kingston Properties LLC, Just Row Properties LLC, and JD Investment Group LLC to facilitate construction of Ridgeview Stormwater Detention Pond and related facilities.
Gearing moves approval.
Lair seconds.
Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have item number 3, budget transfer and reallocation in the amount of $31,790.93 for Parks 2025 CIP lighting projects.
Thank you, Chair. Tonight, staff is requesting a budget transfer to wrap up a few of the site lighting projects that we have for the 2025 CIP. All 3 projects have been approved for the 2025 CIP: Patriot Park site lighting, Lions Park site lighting, and Patriot Park pickleball lighting. There is an excess of $25,000 in our trails maintenance contractual service account. That is due to, as we completed our White Hawk pedestrian bridge project, there was some damages due to the trail that the contractor did cover, so over half of the trail was replaced. So we do have excess funds in that account. Also, we do have some excess funds in the trails maintenance payroll account. Just less maintenance done on some of those trails this year, less crack filling. So we do have an excess. So what we're doing is recommending transferring these general fund items over to pay for these CIP projects and forgo the need to borrow for these projects. On November 11th, 2025, the Park Commission did approve these recommendations to the town board for approval of the budget transfer.
Thank you. Any questions, discussion?
Gearing moves approval.
Hayling seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is permanent easement request by We Energies for parcel number 101-059-003.
All right, thank you, Chair. So We Energies, as part of the I-41 improvement project, is looking at relocating some of their electric distribution system. And they identified a town-owned parcel as one of the parcels that, among many, that they're looking to acquire easements on to make their relocations happen. So this subject parcel is currently vacant, maintaining its green space right now. They are requesting a permanent easement at 2 different widths. The larger north-south portion of the easement, they're looking at 10 feet. And then there's a smaller east-west portion of the easement, they're looking for 15 feet. So I've been in coordination with We Energies to make sure that this proposed easement has been laid out to avoid existing stormwater facilities that we have along that property line there. We did get it so that their easement starts approximately, I believe, 6 feet off the center line of our existing storm sewer pipe. And so that will avoid that. And they also agreed to include some language in their easement document that kind of helps us if we were ever to do any future work on our pipe, that they would have to do some relocation of their facilities. So with this easement, it has been reviewed by our town attorney as well. We've been working pretty closely on this one to make sure that we're all covered for our bases here. One thing I did put in here that I wanted for consideration is that this land is currently listed for sale by the town. We have it listed as at a price of $6 per square foot. And I just noted that historically when we go about projects or we need to acquire permanent easements on private property, we typically pay something for it. There's always some form of interest involved. And what's pretty standard is you base it on the property's assessed land value, and it's basically the price of a purchase is how you pay for a permanent easement. With that being said, their easement, just rough calculations, about 6,800 square feet. So just looking to see if the town board wants any consideration of whether to attach a monetary value for the easement acquisition, or if we just want to work with We Energies to maintain a positive working relationship moving forward. But we did make sure that their easement does not overlap our storm sewer area or future land that we'll need to maintain our storm sewer. So we feel pretty confident about that.
Is there any interest in selling this parcel?
Yes. I think the easement is worth something. There's monetary value. If we were getting an easement from somebody else, we would be paying money for it based on probably the at least the assessed value of that portion of property. So I see this being no different. So I guess I'd move that we would approve the easement and pursue getting compensated for it.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
I would second that.
Well, I think we would need to decide either what we're going to require them to pay or a methodology for coming up with that amount. One point is that I'd like to make is if this were right-of-way, We Energies wouldn't owe the town anything at all because under state and federal law, if a municipality is right-of-way, they have to share it with all utilities, not just their own utilities. Now, this is slightly outside of the right-of-way, so you do have a right to demand that they pay. But because you're acquiring an easement, not what we would call a fee, the amount that would typically be paid is less than for a fee. A fee means you're buying all of the land. An easement means you can use the land non-exclusively, right? You can use it along with the other utilities. So I'm not an appraiser. I'm not qualified to tell you what that amount should be. I suspect Nick and the engineers have more experience in condemnation than I do, so maybe they'd like to comment on that.
I can comment too, Madam Chair, if you don't mind. So at $6 per square foot, I don't know what the value should be, but I would just like to highlight that was our asking price when we did have this land listed with Pfefferly. I would have to consult our assessor, and they would more than likely be the best source, in my opinion, to give us a fair market value for what that land is worth, and they would likely even have experience in determining the value as an easement versus as a sale. So that could be an option if the board so chooses, is to direct us to work with our assessor to come up with the most appropriate value. That's just a thought.
Do we have time to meet with an assessor and bring this back at the next town board meeting for this easement then?
So We Energies is pretty much stressed to me that this is extremely time sensitive. They were pushing to get this on this board tonight. So I think they're actually they've been working with a lot of property owners out there to acquire easements, and they actually have contractors out there right now doing work to do the other relocations right now.
Have they mentioned what have they come up in terms of agreements with the other property owners?
I have not asked. I don't know their exact route outside of what it just pertains to the town. They haven't shared with me their whole relocation route. I know they're looking at a few different options. Some of them we discussed on different parcels that we owned that we were not interested in for other reasons of making some of our land less developable. But this one, we felt that it doesn't really impact the marketability or developability of this land with where the easement's located.
We Energies would probably appreciate a speedy determination of valuation. Normally, you potentially go hire an appraiser and go through that whole process, which would take a number of weeks, if not months, to get through that. So my suggestion with the assessor would probably be the fastest way to come up with a number. I think We Energies gets fined for every day that they're not able to relocate their facility for the Interstate 41 project, so they're under a bit of a time crunch here.
So I understand that they're sharing this space with TDS though too. Does that enter into this discussion?
Yeah, typically, I mean, it's pretty typical that there's multiple utilities that are granted access within a utility easement. So they're just being included as a grantee on the easement as well.
There's a motion on the table. Are we ready to vote on?
I seconded a motion thinking that we were gonna have a number attached to it in a timely basis. I'm beginning to wonder about that though, to be honest. I think there should be some compensation for it.
Well, the two options I see are the board could bring this back at the next meeting with presumably a number, or the board could move to approve for a amount of compensation to be suggested by the assessor and approved by town staff. That way you essentially delegate the authority to determine the purchase price. Like I said, this is not, because the price paid would usually be lower for an easement than for a fee. Number one, because they're sharing it with you and others. Number two, because they don't have exclusive use of the land. They just have the right to use a portion of it, most of which would be underground.
Can I amend my motion to approve the easement for We Energies, along with obviously working with our assessor to determine that value for that, the remnants of land that they want the easement for?
And further amend your motion
For
that the easement can be granted only if We Energies is willing to pay an amount for the easement suggested by the assessor and approved by Director Jolma?
Yes.
I'll second that amendment.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the ALPR program expansion. Can you speak to that?
Thank you, Chair. So on August 7th, the town board voted to accept a $20,000 donation from Woodman's for the expansion of this ALPR network in Grand Chute. The funds were donated and we've received them. We're now ready to proceed with the agreement for services, adding 3 cameras to the network. This was, $20,000 was funding 2 years of service. Because of our contract expiration date, we're looking to enter into a single-year contract at this time, then hold the balance of the donation as restricted fund balance, which is kind of detailed in the fiscal impact section. Roll that over into 2026 and then engage a vendor with a 1-year successor agreement at that time.
Any questions from Chief Moss? Any motion?
Haley moves to approve.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We're up to item number 6, consideration of purchase of 5 replacement police vehicles from Ewald Automotive.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to have Captain Lichtensteiger speak to this one.
Hello? Is that better?
A little louder.
Okay.
There you go.
So we're looking to replace the 5 vehicles that are up for rotation in our current fleet that was part of the CIP. The issue that we ran into that we're bringing it up now is Chevrolet advised that they had cut off vehicle orders for 1 model of the Tahoes, and we're looking to get on their get the vehicles. So we're looking to get them ordered now. We're looking to replace 5 total vehicles. 3 would be Interceptors that are currently Interceptors. The 1 replacement would be the K9 squad that is an Interceptor currently that we'd be looking to switch to a Tahoe due to space restraints. The K9 handlers are facing in the interceptor. So we would be looking to get approved the funds for the vehicles. We have preliminary quotes for the upfitting equipment. We would look to come back to the board once we get permanent or quotes on the upfitting equipment, when that would come on board.
Okay. Any questions?
Gearing moves approval.
Healing seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is item number 7, consideration of J.J. Keller grants.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the fire department was very fortunate. We had a member of the J.J. Keller board reach out to us and was interested in donating $5,000 towards our paramedic program for, well, an undisclosed reason, let's just say that. So, and we brought it to the board because we'd like the money and use it towards our paramedics. It's pretty straightforward.
Any questions? Any motions?
Bantus makes motion to approve.
Healing
Accepting.
seconds.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Now we're up to item G, ordinances. 1 is consideration of ordinance 0092025, amending existing chapter 468-11, maintenance of right-of-way. Jolma.
All right, thank you, Chair. So this one is a pretty short ordinance revision. It basically clarifies the maintenance expectations in right-of-ways to include that not every slope on the roadside is a ditch. Some of them are just slopes. So just opening it up so that it's not so defined just to a ditch. And then it also refines exception criteria for the hazardous slopes, because when it was written so vaguely as it is previously, it's hard for staff to go out and verify, what is definitively deemed hazardous. That's an acceptable answer to residents when it's open to interpretation. So now this actually puts down a actual achievable definition for a slope ratio. And then the last thing that this ordinance addresses is adding abatement and enforcement language, like many other sections of the ordinance. And I can answer any other questions if there are any.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
Haley moves approval for ordinance ordinance 0-09-2025.
Lair seconds.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Now we're up to item H. Open discussion and then motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property, investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business when competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to discuss the police union 2026-2027 agreement. Can I have a motion?
Bantus makes a motion to convene in closed session.
Lair seconds.
Roll call vote, please.
Healing.
Aye.
Bantus.
Aye.
Blair.
Aye.
Karen.
Aye.
English.
Aye.